get the next let's get Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 14. Next slide. Actually, Salakia.
Jeremiah 50?
Chapter 50, verse 9, Salakia.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
So once again, this is a preliminary. So the United States is being flooded with foreigners that are eating and taking up all the resources like locusts, right? And then it says the next prerequisite is what? Read that one more time.
For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country.
An assembly of great nations from the north country. Read.
And they shall set themselves in array against her.
And they shall set themselves in array against her. For those who do not know what array means. Array means to organize yourself in a strategic positioning for war. That's what array means. It's to set yourself in a strategic positioning. Read.
From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
So the Most High tells Jeremiah to show the people that an assembly of great nations from the north country, namely the Persian-Medes, as we've seen in Isaiah chapter 13, would set themselves in a strategic positioning for war against her. Why is this important? We're going to show you here in a couple minutes why the strategic positioning is important. The Most High also states that they will begin to fire upon her with perfect aim, and none of their weapons will miss or be fired without reason. It says that, read that last part of that verse again. It says their arrows.
One moment. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man.
It says their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man. Who else was described this way? The tribe of Benjamin with the sling, where it said that they were able to hit a hair, hit something the length of a hair from a distance with their sling. That's how accurate they were. So not only are these nations from the north country setting themselves up in strategic positionings to go to war with the United States, but they're also calculating exactly where to hit to do the most damage. And guess what? He said, none shall return in vain. Not one missile that's fired is going to be fired for either no reason or without maximum impact. They've been planning this for a long, long time. The nations who will set themselves in array. Let's go to the next slide, and we're going to bounce back to this one to show brothers and sisters. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you, the devil is busy, y'all. So you see here, let's get context as to what the north country is, okay? So you see Jeremiah's birthplace there, right? Jeremiah was born in Jerusalem, right? And you see Jeremiah's death place. Where did he die? He died in Egypt. So that means that all of Jeremiah's life was spent in kingdoms south of the was spent in kingdoms south of the Persian-Medes. Follow me here. The Persian-Medes were always north of Jerusalem. That means that the people that he says are coming from the north are the Persian-Medes, which is Iran, Iraq, Syria, and what you're going to find out is that Turkey and Russia have jumped on the bandwagon too. So that means all of the north have set themselves against. See that little tiny blue speck on the coast there? That look where Jeremiah's birthplace points? That entire area in the north is against Israel. And because the U.S. has used their military on behalf of Israel, they've set themselves against the land of the north. Let's go back to the previous slide and get Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7.
Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
He says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Read.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
He said, the men that were at peace with you have deceived you. So Esau, Amalek, they believe that they're safe. They believe they're comfortable. Why? Because they have their alliances to lean on. Oh yeah, I got France, I got Spain, I got Great Britain, I got all these European nations. But what America doesn't realize is that those same countries want their power back. See, those same countries that were allied with the United States understand that only by the fall of the United States will they get the power that they had when they were the 10 kings back. America's allies will begin to turn against her, and those who she thought was at peace with her, all the while wanted her to fall. Think about it. You got a friend, right? And you think that this person is your friend. You take him places. You do things for him. It's like, hey, man, this is my homie, my home dog. And the entire time you find out the second you get an enemy, you look up and they're no longer standing behind you. They're standing behind them. And what you didn't realize is that the entire time they were only with you to get what they could get from you. And now that they realize they can't get anything else from you, they have set themselves against you. They're sending their citizens over into the United States. Get your fast track citizenship. Take advantage of those of the civil rights money. Take advantage of the welfare and build businesses and eat up all the resources of the United States, then come back home. And once we've deprived the United States of all of their resources, now we can go to battle. They're not strong enough anymore. Strangers have devoured the United States' strength, and they know it they're not. He said, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Remember, the United States is isolating itself from its allies. We've seen that in the first article. Read.
Gonna back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee.
They have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. Read.
They that eat thy bread have
Read that part again.
They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
They have laid a wound under thee. Look at that. Remember those mingled people that would come in like locusts and destroy and break down the economy by eating all the food, drinking all the water, using up all the financial resources? He said that they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. They were coming into your country. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it, Canada. You can come in when all you need is a passport. Don't worry about it, UK. You can come in. All you need is a passport. Oh, okay, refugees from all these countries that are our allies, come on in. We'll give you refuge. Meanwhile, the entire time, they're sending these people to drain them of all their resources. They're going to recall their people back to their land and say, look, Babylon is weak. Read.
There is none understanding in them.
There is none understanding in them. Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, keep this in mind. People are probably wondering why. The majority of the 10 horns are indeed the United States' allies. These allies, or these countries, want power that the United States took from them when it was created. These 10 kings had to take they were the most powerful countries in the entire earth, but they had to take a step back when the United States was created. All they want is their power back. But keep in mind, you can't get your power back without getting a return on investment, right? We invested this much into Babylon. Therefore, we're going to take double the amount back. And then we'll destroy it. Read. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 27. Remember, through the United States' fall, all power goes back to Rome for a short space, meaning that the 10 horns will rule the earth once more before Christ's return. This is all they want. They could care less whether they're allies with the United States. There is none understanding in him. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 51, starting at verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
Set up a standard in the land.
Mm-hmm.
Blow the trumpet among the nations.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare the nations against her.
Prepare the nations against her. Jeremiah is getting into the thick of it now. He's saying, set yourselves up to go to war and destroy Babylon. Read.
Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz.
So now he puts out direct names of the countries that would ally themselves with Iran for the destruction of the United States. Brothers and sisters, Ararat is modern-day Turkey. Mini, or Manai, is modern-day Armenia. And lastly, Ashkenaz, many might not know, Ashkenaz is the ancient Netherlands, which included West Germany, but mainly Belgium and Luxembourg. Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. What's that, brothers and sisters? Isn't that one of the 10 kings? Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg, aren't those one of the... Oh, isn't Turkey one of the 10 kings? Interesting. So we're seeing three of the 10 kings setting themselves up against the nation they helped to create. All of these countries are a part of or aligned with the 10 horns. These nations will join Iran and their allies to bring desolation to Babylon. People are saying, nah, no way. Elder, go forward 2 slides. No way that these countries will align themselves with Iran. Iran doesn't have that kind of friendship. Oh, but you're wrong. Just 2 days ago, from the Middle East Monitor, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Iran, and Egypt confirmed that they are joining BRICS, an Eastern alliance to combat the Western world's alliance. Those who don't know who's already in BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, Venezuela, Turkey, and Cuba are all allies of Iran. And people are thinking, that's it? That's all there is? No. That's not all there is. I'll show you in a second. Because there are also other nations that have applied to join BRICS, but haven't been approved yet. And when I show you where they are, brothers and sisters, you are going to be shocked at how much opposition the United States actually has. Daily Mail UK says Russia and China warned against cycle of retaliation as Biden threatens to target their ally, Iran, after drone attack killed 3 U.S. soldiers. China and Russia say, y'all better not strike back. South Africa's president said that detaining Vladimir Putin would mean they were declaring war on their alliance. Yes, this is not only an economic alliance, it is a military alliance, brothers and sisters. That means that all of these countries, if one of them get attacked, all of them are coming to the defense of that country. VOA News says why Iran's growing influence in Venezuela challenges the West. Why do you think? You think the U.S. wants Iran's military, an Iranian military post that close to them? How about Cuba? How many of y'all know it only takes 45 minutes to fly from the United States to Cuba? You think they want Iran's military in Cuba? Speaking of, VOA News says Iran and Cuba seek closer ties to confront the U.S. sanctions. Yes, Cuba has now aligned themselves with Iran. Now, keep in mind, if you hadn't looked at the news in the last 5 days, you wouldn't have seen this. These are all things developing right now as we speak. All these countries have aligned with Iran or have begun to make partnerships with them. And Putin even has begun to suggest late in January, that means that only a week ago, he was suggesting that they begin the placement of nuclear missiles in Cuba. You heard that correctly. Vladimir Putin suggested to the leaders of China and Iran of moving nuclear weapons to Cuba. 45-minute flight from the United States, brothers and sisters. 45 minutes. Why do you think the United States wanted Alaska so bad, brothers and sisters? They wanted Alaska because Alaska borders Russia. They couldn't have Russia take over Alaska and be that close to them. Put a 1 in the chat if you're following where we're going here.
Shalom, family, and thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like these, including our full-length lessons and live streams, subscribe to our YouTube channel, House of Judah International Fellowship Church. Also, give us a follow on all of our other social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.